I just recently started using a service called GetResponse, and since this is a new account, you're going to see I don't have a huge email list. I literally just started building this account. But GetResponse I love. Honestly, it is so easy. I was using MailChimp for a long time, and it just wasn't very intuitive. But even with the free account, or at least the free trial of GetResponse, which you get for 30 days, you have so many features and it's so user-friendly. So I wanted to show you guys how this works. If I come over here to menu and I click on autoresponders, then it's going to pull open this calendar here. And I've got kind of this calendar view, and then I also have a list view here, but let's go back to this calendar view. Now, what these days represent are the days after somebody signs up for your email list. So anytime that you connect this to an email list sign up form and people get added to your list, then they start receiving these emails on the days that you put them in your calendar, right? And each one of these emails you would assign to a different list. So you could have 3 different books that you're trying to market and have a separate list for each one of them, so that not everybody in your entire email list total is getting the emails for 3 different book series if they're only reading one of them, right? So you can really make these emails very targeted. And what's great about this is that I can help people get to know me and get exposure to me and my brand or my products over the course of 6 or 7 days. And then I can start sending them weekly emails and just continue to keep tabs with them. And I can share them insights about my books, get them excited about future books that I'm releasing or future products that I'm releasing. And it does it all for me, okay? I can also create a newsletter, but that is separate from creating an autoresponder. An autoresponder, it sends it out for me, which is really, really cool. See, here's the option to create a newsletter. And what a newsletter is it just sends out a newsletter whenever you decide to send it. It's like a one-time email. It's not going to send every time that somebody signs up for your email list. And I have one here set up for one of my books, Mama, You Have Needs Too. And I started off by giving them a free 10-day self-care challenge, basically. And the first email has the download button on it where they can download that challenge, and it's just a little freebie, and it's a way that they can start to get to know me and my brand. And then day 2, I start talking a little bit about myself and my journey as a mom, and same thing with each one of these following days. And as you can say, this says day 0 actually, because this is like the moment they sign up for your email list. This is the email that they get. You don't have to have a day 0 email, but if you're promising them some sort of freebie, then yeah, you probably want to give it to them as soon as they sign up. Otherwise, they're going to be waiting around, and nobody wants to do that. Then day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, I have separate emails on each one of these days. That's telling them a little bit more about me. And then on days 5 and 6, on day 5, let's see, day 6 is when I give them some reviews from my book. So if they haven't yet purchased the actual book, which is not just a 10-day guide, but it's like a 30-day guide. It's got 30 separate days of health challenges. So some of them address affirmations, and some of them are meditation. Some of them are simple, gentle exercises for people who are still recovering in their first year following childbirth. Some of them are simple and easy recipes, because everyone knows it's really hard to cook when you're also holding a baby at the same time. So I've got 30 challenges, and I'm kind of introducing these moms to this concept over the course of 6 or 7 days, right? And as we discussed in the previous lesson, it's hard for people to want to just buy something from you when they don't know you. So having these emails gives them the chance to get to know you, and it gives them 7 times exposure to you and your product. And there is that saying that says that somebody needs to see your ad 7 times before they're going to actually purchase something from you. And that definitely happens with me. It's not very often that I land on somebody's landing page and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to buy your product. It does happen. Okay, if I've been looking for something actively for a long, long time, like I've been looking to learn how to build an online business, and I suddenly land on someone's landing page and they're promising me answers to all of my questions that I've been having, then yeah, I'm a lot more likely to purchase that product. But especially if you're writing a fiction novel, that's not necessarily something that people are desperately searching for, okay? You have your avid readers that are desperately searching for new reads because they read all the time and they read a ton. But I think the average reader is going to be a little bit more relaxed about their reading schedule, and it's going to take more to get them hooked and to get them interested in your book. And so over the course of these 7 days or 6 days, and what you can do is you can give them some sort of freebie. You can give them the first chapter to your book for free. You could start talking about your inspiration behind the book. Talk about you a little bit as an author and what inspires you as an author. Talk about some of your characters. Start getting them interested in your characters maybe on day 3, and then day 4, you could send them some of the reviews that people have given you about your book. And then day 5, give them another little snippet from one of your really exciting scenes. Or day 6, who knows? You can get creative with these. But you're just getting them more and more excited and giving them more and more exposure to your book. And then at this last day here, you would have a button. So let me go ahead and click on this so you can see what it looks like. You would have a button where they can actually purchase the product. And you could have the button on your email every single day, but I think it's really effective when they don't necessarily feel like you're selling to them the whole time. It's just them getting to know you and feeling comfortable with you. Okay. So see, I titled it up here. I can title it whatever I want, just something that's going to make it easy for me to keep track of. I say what day they're going to get this email. I can select the time. Now this is totally up to you. I like saying the same time as sign up time, because if they signed up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then that may be the best time for them to receive emails, because if that's when they're checking emails or checking their social media and signing up for my email in the first place, then maybe that's the best time for them. So I think same as sign up time is really good. However, sometimes people will say exactly at, and they'll pick like 12:30 because that's in the middle of lunch break, or they'll pick 7:30 because that's after the kids are in bed, right? And then I would say time travel, and this basically means that it's going to show up at 7:30 during their time zone. But I'm going to keep this at the same time as sign up time. This is where you would connect your professional address, your professional email address, and definitely make the from email address and the reply to email address the same. It just makes it a lot less likely that Google is going to mark, or Gmail or whatever email service they're using is going to mark your email as scam. Then have a catching email line, subject line that pulls them into the email in the first place. Remember that your email is showing up among hundreds of other emails in their inbox. So you got to think of something that's creative, something that's going to get them to open your email and notice it and pull it out from the other emails that they're getting. And then this here, when I say edit message, this is where I can actually write the email. I'm gonna wait for it to load. And I have the option to choose from templates or to create a blank template. And what I generally do is I create a blank one and I get it looking the way that I want it to, and then I save that as my own template, because then I can use that for all of my emails in that series. So with the Mama You Have Needs Too, I have this pink header up here, and it's got the kind of the logo that's on the book. This is what the book title looks like with that font. It says Mama You Have Needs Too. And then I saved this whole thing. I've got like a little disclaimer down here, and this, your address, your business address, automatically shows up at the footer. Okay, so if you put in your home address in your information in GetResponse, then that's what's going to show up down here. And that was what was showing up for me initially, and I realized I did not want thousands of people to have my email address. So I went and I got myself a P.O. box for my business, which where I am, it's about $15 a month, which is not horrible, and it protects my privacy as well. Okay, but now my business has an official address, which is great. And so this whole thing, I just saved it as a template. So I came up here and it says save as my template, and then I click on it, and then I can title it. Okay, but I've already done that. So then I just fill it all out. But if I can go back to design and content, then you'll see there's these pre-designed templates, and then there's also my templates. And as you see, these are the templates that I created. I accidentally created a whole bunch of this template here when I was trying to learn GetResponse, because when you do save something as a template, it doesn't automatically show up in your templates list. You have to kind of refresh the page, and then it shows up in your templates list. So I tried creating it multiple times before it actually showed up. And then I ended up with 4 of basically the same thing. But I would click on this template and then edit it, right? But since I already have that one, this is my email again, and I can edit it however I want. I can add pictures, text, buttons, video, spacers. It's really, really easy to work with this, okay? If I want to add a link to this button, so where are they going to go when they click on it? This is the link to my book. So it says, yes, I am going to take 5 minutes a day to care for my health. And then this is the link to my book. Then they can click on it and they can go get it from Amazon. It's the same thing every time I have a button. You can also add a link to text. So, say I had the title right here and I wanted to turn this into a link, I would just highlight it, then come up here to the link button and then paste the web address there. Super, super easy. Then after that, you would click next. You can test and preview it and send yourself a test message to see what it looks like in your email inbox. And you can preview it, and you can preview it both on mobile and on like a desktop version. Then I'd say next. And then it would just show up here. If your spam check is giving you red flags, then definitely fix the errors, but I haven't had any issues with that yet. Generally, as long as you're not putting like ridiculous amounts of links in there, generally one link is good to have in your email. Okay, it's less likely that your email is going to be sent to their promotions tab or that it's going to be marked as spam, and having like tons and tons of exclamation points isn't great. I do use a lot of exclamation points, but not after every single sentence and not like 5 in a row, okay? And there's a few other things, but generally you should be fine as long as you're being genuine in your emails and you're sending people real value. Then I would click update. And then this email is going to show up on my little calendar that I created. And I could create as many of these as I want, but like I said, just doing the first 7 days, so one on day 0 and then days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's a really good way for just people to get to know you. This is called an onboarding sequence. And then after that, you can start sending them weekly emails, and you can go ahead and schedule these weekly emails in advance. And then I could say show more days and just have like a whole 2 months, 3 months worth of these emails that are just going to automatically send to people every time that they sign up for my email list, which is just awesome. Okay, really, really nice, because then I don't have to be like manually sending out newsletters to my list every single time that somebody signs up, because that would be insanely tedious. So that's how GetResponse works. There are a few other things to be aware of, like how to set up the account in the first place. So let me come over to my account, and here is where you can edit your account details. Okay, this is like my personal business email address. Okay, it's not actually my address, but if you go to email addresses right here, this is where I added my business email address, and it's really easy to do. You just have to say add email, and then it's going to give you the instructions. Okay, you're going to have to go back to your domain provider and edit some things with the DNS, but it's really simple as long as you follow the instructions step by step. It sounds a little complex because it's unfamiliar territory, but like I said, just follow it step by step, and it's really quite simple. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. This is GetResponse. It's awesome. It's so useful. Another thing that they can do is called automation, which is different from autoresponders, and this is a little bit more complex, so we're going to create a separate video on this, but very, very useful. And I would go ahead and create your GetResponse account. It's free, completely free, especially for the trial, but there is a free version that you can continue to use indefinitely. The free version does not include the autoresponders, however, but you do get access to that for 30 days, which is really nice. So just go ahead and get on there and start experimenting with it and set up your account.